الليلة كيف امسيت ويا ملوك قليل نسيت حيراني باتهام لجسمي وخليته ما لو بيطير الخيال آتيت ليلة يا ليلة يا هو ليلة يا ليلى قالوا لا يجنبوا حبابي يا الله الحبايب حبابي أنا حماتي والله الولاد قالوا لا يجنبوا حبابي يا الله ولا يحاول
The history of singing in Sudan, Haqiba Poets Sayyid Abd Al-Aziz, 1905-1976. The honorable guest, it is my great pleasure welcoming you to this new episode on our journey dedicated to the documentaries of history of singing in Sudan, with a special reference to Haqiba songs tradition continue today. So we go forward in our exploration of the poets of the Haqiba tradition, those who shaped the nation's collective conscience through word and melody. At this luminous stage, we meet today the poet of beauty and love, the architect of the Sudanese song, the exceptional poet Sayyid Abd Al-Aziz, one of the enduring pillars upon which the Haqiba heritage was built, and a poetic voice that still pulses with sweetness and wonder. His biography informs that he is Sayyid Abdul-Aziz Mahmoud Abdul-Aziz Ahmad Suleiman, who was born in Al-Masalma neighborhood of Durman in 1905. According to his birth certificate, his original name was Abdul Muhsin Abdul-Aziz, His father of Egyptian origin, while his mother is Sudanese. The family welcomed the childbirth while the father was on annual leave visiting relatives in Egypt, most of whom lived in the town of Farges and Adhet al-Hajar in the Fayoum Governorate. Upon returning to Sudan, the father chose to rename the child Sayyid in affectionate remembrance of his beloved elder brother. At the firstborn, Sayyid received exceptional care and attention from birth. Growing up in Omdurman, then the vibrant hub of Haqiba songs and home of most of its leading poets and singers, deeply shaped his poetic sensibility and refined his artistic taste. He soon distinguished himself in lyrical composition, excelling in vivid description, quick wit, and the forceful elegance of his verse. Sayyid made a substantial contribution to Sudanese song, living through and engaging with two major musical movements, the Haqiba tradition and the modern string-based Watariya school. He both influenced and was influenced by these currents, and his poems were performed by leading figures such both school including Al-Haj Muhammad Ahmad Saroor, Abdul Karim Karoma, and Ibrahim Al-Kashif, among others. Sayyid did not receive sustained formal schooling. He spent a short period at the Khalwa Quranic school of Sheikh Sayyid, where he acquired basic literacy and memorized portions of the Holy Quran. Choosing early to support his family, he began working alongside his father at Omdurman Cattle Yard. Whenever time allowed, he avidly read stories and literary works, absorbing what his amazing memory could retain. He was profoundly influenced by the company of educated friends, including Abdurrahman Hamad, a teacher at Omdurman Scientific Institute, who introduced him to the fundamentals of Arabic language. The late poet, in addition to Abdurrahman Hamad, the teacher at the Omdurman Scientific Institute, furthermore Our poet Sayyid Abd-Al-Aziz was in close companionship with the late Ahmad Abdurrahman Al-Umari, the gifted poet. In addition to that, he was in a company or companionship with the gifted poet Al-Hadi Al-Umarawi and Khalid Adam, son of the renowned tailor. He also enjoyed regular gatherings with lifelong friends Al-Khalifa Yusuf Al-Hassan and Abid Abdurrahman. Finding the routine of the cattle yard stifling and its prospects limited, Sayyid resolved to learn a trade. He trained in mechanics at Sudan mercantile workshops, then with mechanical transport, later working as a driver for 4 years and spending extended periods in various workshops. Eventually, he secured permanent employment with the Mechanical Transport Department in Khartoum North, where he qualified as a senior mechanical engineer. His expertise enabled him to teach the craft, training many young men. In 1954, he was transferred to Ubaid, where he remained until 1967 before returning to the main department in Khartoum North until his retirement in 1972. Never content with limited learning, Sayyid strove continuously to elevate himself intellectually. In his 50s, he enrolled at Ibrahim Sumet School in Al Mawrada to make up for missed formal education. He also studied basic English to assist him in his official work and communication with foreign engineers, maintaining a lifelong habit of reading, an effort that profoundly enhanced his cultural and artistic depth. His poetry is often described as a series of masterfully crafted verbal and semantic scenes, well read, attentive to global developments, deeply rooted in heritage, and fond of wordplay and rhetorical arts. Sayyid was known for his light-hearted humor and quick irony. So the audience, I would like to inform here that our poet Sayyid Abd-Al-Aziz has been backed and supported with many sources that had played greater role on providing a genius, skillful and celebrated poet to literary circle in Sudan. Among the formative influences on this regard on his life and poetry, as has been pointed by his biography writers and critics, number one is his connection with the Holy Quran. Since he was enrolled in the Quranic school, as we have stated shortly in his biography, in addition to that, his vast and wide reading to Arabic literature and to the different and varied sort of knowledge and sciences. Another source that further has contributed on his upbringing as a celebrated, as a skillful and genius poet is the blessed setting. I'm referring here to Durman in general, more specifically to Al-Masalma. And in that regard, it has been told that he was in close association with poets such as Ibrahim al-Abbadi, والضرادي, صالح عبد السيد أبو صلاح, أحمد حسين, أنا الهادي العمرابي. As accomplished and erudite poet, to our poet Sayyid Abd Al-Aziz, a poetic diwan entitled Qaid al-Ustul, commander of the fleet. So, as you listen to the audience, and as we have presented him shortly in his biography, Sayyid Abdul-Aziz considered one of the greatest and prominent Sudanese Haqiba songs writers and poets. And in this concern, to his credit, a published poetic diwan entitled Qaid al-Ustul. Moreover, his biography writers informed that more than 100 of his songs were recorded by Sudanese radio, while his celebrated song Bint Muluk al-Nil stands among the finest achievements of his fertile imagination. Meanwhile, I would like to share parts of the titles of his celebrated and masterpieces of poems that have been sung by prominent Sudanese singers. And just I would like to point out to صباح النور عليك يا زهور, more poem or more out مس نوركم. Another poem جمال يشفي السقيم. Another celebrated out غصون الرود. Another celebrated verse يا فريع الطيب. Another significant and celebrated poem الجنان في الدنيا يا حليف الصون. More masterpiece غنى الجملة على القصون. Another celebrated out أقيس محاسنك بمن. Moreover من حور الجنان. Just the audience sharing parts of the titles of masterpieces of our noted poet Sayyid Abd Al-Aziz, which have been sung by Sudanese singers across times, across history. The late writer and poet Sirgadur famously described Sayyid Abd Al-Aziz as the architect of the Sudanese song. In recognition of his stature, the Sudanese state, the Sudanese government awarded him its highest literary honors. And after a long struggle with illness, Sayyid Abd Al-Aziz passed away on 28th of August 1976, leaving behind the legacy of a devoted companion and a singular poetic voice whose like is rarely matched by time. So the audience, just I shared part of the rich legacy, the rich biography of our prominent, of our celebrated poet Sayyid Abd Al-Aziz. And for the sake of brevity, as I told, just this is part of his rich biography.